Incredible Irish wife, Chicago.
The WWE Universe was not ready for what unfolded that night. What began as an electrifying edition of Monday Night Raw, filled with championship anticipation and loud, passionate fans, quickly turned into an all-out nightmare for one of WWE's most beloved superstars, Seth freaking Rollins. In an unexpected and brutal sequence, two of the most dominant forces in modern wrestling, Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed, joined forces in a shocking, vicious beatdown that left Rollins motionless in the center of the ring. The attack wasn't just a random act of violence. It was a message, a terrifying statement that echoed through the arena and across the entire wrestling world. The Visionary's open challenge. Earlier in the night, Seth Rollins had stepped into the ring, microphone in hand, draped in his vibrant, flamboyant jacket, soaking in the chorus of "Whoa, whoa, whoa" from thousands of fans singing his theme. As World Heavyweight Champion, Rollins had become the beating heart of WWE, a fighting champion who prided himself on taking on anyone, anytime, anywhere. "Monday Night Rollins," he said, smiling, pacing around the ring. "The whole world knows I'm that guy. I'm the man who doesn't back down from a challenge, who fights with his soul every single night. So whoever thinks they're man enough to step up, come get yourself a piece of the Visionary." The crowd roared, expecting a surprise opponent, maybe someone from SmackDown, maybe even a returning legend. But no one could have predicted who would walk through that curtain next. The arrival of the monster. The arena lights dimmed. A low rumble filled the speakers, followed by the booming sound of Bronson Reed's entrance theme. The massive Australian powerhouse emerged, his face set with grim determination. The audience buzzed with curiosity. Reed had made a name for himself as one of the most powerful men in WWE, but stepping into the ring with Rollins was a bold move. Rollins grinned, nodding in approval. "All right, big man," he said. "You want to dance with the devil? Let's make it happen." As the bell rang, the match began as a showcase of speed versus power. Rollins used his agility and experience to stay ahead, landing quick strikes and drop kicks that staggered the big man. But Reed's raw strength was overwhelming. He caught Rollins midair during a springboard attempt and slammed him down with a thunderous powerbomb that made the entire ring shake. Still, Rollins refused to quit. Every time Reed tried to crush him, Rollins bounced back, hitting a super kick, then a falcon arrow for a near fall. The audience was on their feet. Rollins, the resilient warrior, seemed on the verge of another miraculous comeback. Then, everything changed. The Beast returns. Without warning, the arena lights flickered again. The crowd erupted into chaos as Brock Lesnar's theme hit, that familiar, terrifying guitar riff, followed by the unmistakable roar of the crowd. The Beast incarnate was back. Rollins froze, eyes wide. Reed stepped back, smirking, as Lesnar, wearing a black tank top and his signature gloves, stormed down the ramp with fire in his eyes. It had been months since his last appearance and no one knew his intentions. But from the look on his face, it was clear. He wasn't here for handshakes. Lesnar circled the ring like a predator, then climbed inside. The crowd buzzed with anticipation. Rollins, already worn down from his battle with Reed, raised his fists, ready to fight. For a moment, the two men stared each other down. Beast versus Visionary. Then Lesnar lunged. The ambush Lesnar's attack was instantaneous. He tackled Rollins to the mat and unleashed a barrage of right hands, hammering him mercilessly. The referee tried to intervene, but Lesnar shoved him aside like a rag doll. Rollins fought back with desperation, landing a few kicks and striking Lesnar across the face. But the Beast's fury was unstoppable. Lesnar hurled Rollins halfway across the ring with a German suplex that sent him crashing onto his neck and shoulders. Before Seth could even breathe, Lesnar delivered another one, and then another. Suplex City was open for business. The fans screamed in disbelief, some chanting for Rollins, others chanting Lesnar's name. But what made the attack even more disturbing was what happened next. As Rollins crawled to the ropes, clutching his back in agony, Bronson Reed stepped forward again. Instead of helping Seth, or even retreating, he joined in. Reed stomped down hard on Rollins' spine, laughing as the crowd booed. Lesnar smirked, clearly amused. The alliance was suddenly clear. This wasn't coincidence. This was planned. Together, Lesnar and Reed began dismantling Rollins in one of the most savage two-on-one assaults in years. Total destruction. Reed lifted Rollins by the throat and drove him into the turnbuckle, crushing his ribs against the steel post. Lesnar followed with another German suplex that left the champion limp. The Beast and the Brute exchanged nods. Unspoken, brutal understanding. Then came the exclamation point. Lesnar hoisted Rollins onto his shoulders for the F5, his signature move, and spun with monstrous force, slamming Seth into the mat so hard that the ring ropes shook. The crowd gasped as Rollins lay motionless. But Reed wasn't done. He climbed the turnbuckle, 330 pounds of destruction perched high above, and launched himself into the air, crashing down onto Rollins with the devastating tsunami splash. The impact was horrifying. The referee immediately called for medical assistance as Reed rolled off, grinning wickedly. Lesnar looked down at the fallen champion, then at Reed, who stood beside him, panting heavily. A message. To the locker room. Lesnar grabbed a microphone from ringside, his voice low and chilling. This is what happens when you call yourself the man of WWE. This is what happens when you forget who built this place. You think you're the top of the mountain, Seth? The Beast owns that mountain. He dropped the mic onto Rollins' chest, the echo of the thud cutting through the silence. Reed stood next to him, crossing his arms, clearly pleased with the chaos they had caused. Then, just before leaving, Lesnar turned back one last time and kicked Rollins' championship belt toward him. The message was clear. You might still be champion, but I own you now.